Hello and welcome to video 5, which is all about your courageous creative journey. And I want to just pause for a moment to celebrate you and to totally acknowledge you for making it through the video series. When it comes to following our creative dreams, to stepping into more creativity in our life and in our leadership, it's easy to think it's just a great idea and kind of put it on the side burner. And if you got to this point in our connection together, it's because you are committed to bringing more creativity into your life, to igniting that creative fire and keeping it lit in an ongoing basis. And I want to do a quick summary of what we talked about in videos 1 to 4. Then I'm going to share step 5 of our 5-step process. And finally, I want to share with you our Courageous Creative Journey Map, which is a simple process that you can do at home on your own to help you get more clarity. And I'm also going to share how you can get my support on helping you walk through that process if you know that it sounds like a great idea, but you're probably not going to get to it all by yourself and you need a little more accountability or someone to really brainstorm with and ask you the right questions. So that's kind of a lay of the land where we're going in video 5. It may be a little bit longer video than some of the others so far because I've got a lot to cover this time around. So first, a quick recap of what we've covered so far. So in video 1, we talked about why clarity is essential to the process of igniting your creative fire. And clarity comes in a variety of ways. It comes in reconnecting to what brings you joy. What does creativity look like? What would be fun for you to add to your schedule, or what is the type of creative play that you would be willing to commit to in an ongoing basis? In video 2, we talked about congruence, which is all about really creating very clear alignment between head, your heart, and your gut. And this starts by becoming crystal clear about what your core values are and how those core values align with creativity and with play. And where in your life do you need to bring all of you back into the picture of who you're being right now in the moment and how you're being in the world in relationship and reflection of your most important core values. And in video 3, I talked about step 3, which is that you need to have a clear course of action. And that course of action is exactly what we're going to talk about with our Courageous Creative Journey Map. And I'm going to show you a really creative, fun process for getting that course of action outlined so that you can create a timeline and make it happen. But I think for me, one of the biggest turning points in realizing how was it that I was able to continue to be so prolific and to get so much creative work done. And I think it started when I got clear about what I wanted to create. I made sure that it was in alignment with my core values and my vision for what I was creating in my life. 3, I always had a clear plan in place to make it happen. And as a creative, I didn't used to love to plan. So learning to plan effectively and really create spaciousness for both structure and flow in my life and in my work has been a big part of my own creative journey. And in 4, we talked about consistency. And with consistency also comes commitment. And this is about looking at your calendar and getting really honest about where your time is going and where you could be carving out time for creative play. And it also involves looking at the mindset around creative play. Are you judging creative play as not worthy or valuable use of your time? Are you so stuck in project mode and are you so stuck in that all business all the time that all of a sudden it's really hard to wrap your mind around play and how important play is in your life? And with play comes rest, renewal, and radical self-care as well. So step 5 of our 5-step process for really igniting your creative fire is my favorite one and a really fun one, and that is curiosity. So curiosity is often seen as one of the hallmarks of creative brilliance. And why is that? Because people who are really curious ask a lot of questions. And when we really lean into curiosity, it allows us to suspend judgment. So instead of looking at what's wrong, at what's not working, or even in looking at what's right, getting into a particular way of thinking, when we get curious and begin to ask powerful questions of ourselves, of others, our ideas and our plans, we get new perspective on what's possible. So rather than looking at something and going, oh, this isn't working, we can really connect to the energy of, what if I turned it the other way around? What if I looked at it from this angle? What might be possible if? My clients laugh at me all the time because I use this question a lot in our coaching work together. I'm curious, I might say. What would be possible if? Or what if it looked like that? And the whole point of curiosity is not to find solutions to problems, but to learn to ask better questions, because questions are at the core of creative generation of ideas and looking for that fresh perspective. So I'm curious, where in your life could you ask better questions? Which leads me right into our Courageous Creative Journey Map, which is a simple process that I designed, and I have literally taught to hundreds and hundreds of women. I wrote about it first in my book, The Artful Marketer. I actually use this as part of a business planning process as well as a life planning process. And it walks you through putting on paper everything that we've talked about so far in this video series. And we're going to give you a copy of it. I should have said that first so that you know what the heck I'm talking about. But you'll see after this video, there'll be a link to the handout to download a copy of the Courageous Creative Journey Map. So you'll have a copy of it and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. It looks like a mandala, and the center of it actually looks like a bullseye. In the very center of the bullseye, it's about really zeroing in on what is your creative calling or your creative goal. I invite you to take a look at your creative brilliance, which we talked about in video 2. Then we look at your core values and your vision, which we talked about also in video 2 around congruence. The entire mapping process is all about getting clear about your course of action and where to find time to make it happen. So it's a visual representation of the steps that I've shared so far in our journey. And I'm going to share that with you for free, no cost, because I think it's really important to get in the habit of answering those questions that are so powerful. And because I know that you're here and I want to acknowledge you and reward you for, one, watching all the videos, because I have immense gratitude, but I also know this is really important. And I want to give you the tool to make sure that you're continuing on this journey. And I also want to give you the opportunity to tap into a breakthrough to creative courage conversation with me personally, because I know it's so easy to watch video series like this one and think, oh, that's a grand idea, but not really understand how to implement the information or apply it to your life personally. So I want to invite you into a 60-minute conversation with me where I'll actually walk you through the entire Courageous Creative Journey Map. I made that a difficult name to say, didn't I? But it's a Courageous Creative Journey Map. I just need to say it a lot more times. So I'm going to invite you into a conversation where we will walk through this process together so that you can get the clarity that you need to figure out how to ignite your creative fire, what form is that going to take, and how are you going to make time for it in your life going forward? Because this is an important topic. And my sense is that you're here because you know that there's a deeper calling and there's something more meaningful and purposeful that you want to be doing with your life, and you're not even sure what that would look like. This mapping process is the secret to getting clarity around those next steps. So this conversation is between you and me. It will be recorded on Zoom, so you'll have lifetime access to it. And during this conversation, I'm going to help you get clear. We're going to talk about your core values. We're going to look at the timeline of when you want things to be happening and figuring out your best steps for going forward. And at the end of that conversation, if it feels like a match, I'll also share some ideas about how we could continue to work together. I am a huge fan of coaching. I have invested heavily in my own coaches over the last decade, and I know that coaching can help you get through some of those stuck moments so that you are opening your heart to the creative passions that are flowing in. And a lot of coaches that I know easily charge $500 an hour for a coaching session, and it's worth every single penny. My normal regular rate is $250 an hour. And in this case, this conversation for you is completely free, no strings attached, just a generous offer from my heart to yours, and an opportunity to get the clarity you need and see if we might be a match to work together. So if you know that those next steps for you feel a little bit murky and you're excited about it, but you want some clarity, when you're finished watching the video, all you got to do is just click on the button below that says Talk to Manette, and you'll see the link pop up and you'll be able to get right to my calendar to schedule your complimentary Breakthrough to Creative Courage conversation with me. It'll be a lot of fun. It'll be worth your time. And if it's not worth your time, then I have a free gift for you. I'll actually be gifting you one of my courses so that you could do some of this work on your own if you don't think that hour was worth your time. But I think you will enjoy every minute of the conversation together, because this is a way for you to get clear, to get excited, and to get committed to taking your creative journey and to keeping that creative fire burning bright from today onward. So it would be my honor and privilege to have that conversation with you. I'll see you soon on the call. And remember that you can download your copy of the Courageous Creative Journey Map in the messenger just below this video. I look forward to talking to you soon. And I'd love to get your feedback as well. If you love the content, or if there was a question you had that didn't get answered in the journey, feel free to type into Messenger. I am personally reading every single one of the messages, and I'm happy to connect with you. So have an amazing creative day, and I look forward to getting to know you personally.